flipping back the calendar to highlight yesteryear's finest while exploring the vast archives in cinema history. This is the Movie Review Rewind podcast on Nashville Movie Dispatch.
Welcome back for another episode of the Movie Review Rewind podcast right here on Nashville Movie Dispatch. I'm your host for the show, the EIC at SoBrosNetwork.com, Big Natural Stoney Keeley. You can follow me on Twitter at Stoney Keeley. Collectively, we are at SoBros Network. And all of our work can be found at NashvilleMovieDispatch.substack.com. Love is in the air for our February episode. We are going to be talking about a little rom-com from 2011 called Crazy Stupid Love. I couldn't do this without my partner in crime here, my fellow little stinker, if you will.
Oh.
He is a board member of the Music City Film Critics Association. He is a member of the Southeastern Film Critics Association. And he's our resident film critic here at Nashville Movie Dispatch, Mr. Big Shot himself, Brandon Vick. Brandon, how you doing today?
Not too bad. We got it's a fine time to be alive.
It is.
I don't really celebrate Valentine's Day because my son's birthday is 2 days after.
Yeah.
But my wife and I didn't really celebrate it before. We would usually go like the week before or the week after, and like we would just maybe go to a restaurant we hadn't been to, and that's about it. I don't remember us really doing gifts or anything. Chocolate's pointless unless, well, I don't know if it's Atkins.
Yeah,
I
you can
take that.
You can squeeze some chocolate in. Yeah.
But I mean, we're in that Oscar season, baby.
Yeah.
In that Oscar season. And Sinners being nominated for Best Picture. It's crazy. Just absolutely crazy.
I can't wait for Tim Robinson to get his first Oscar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You and me both.
Yeah, I'm so thrilled that he's nominated.
Oh, my gosh. And Josh Brolin, Best Supporting Actor for Weapons. What?
How
did that?
How about that? Yeah.
Good for him.
We are breaking news here on the Movie Review Rewind.
And I have no
podcast.
idea if Oscar nominations have even been announced.
At this point,
recording.
Let's see, it'll be February. Yet, don't they usually do it at the end of January?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so we
should know.
We know all of the Oscar.
Oh, okay. Well, then this all is right then. All right.
So, Crazy Stupid Love. If you guys don't remember, which I don't know why I do this. I mean, people, why can you imagine press and play?
Where you go through the synopsis of something? I mean, I guess maybe if you're of a certain age, maybe. 2011 does sound old.
Yeah. I'll give it a shot anyway.
Yeah, go ahead.
Crazy Stupid Love is a 2011 American romantic comedy film directed by Glenn Ficarra and John Requa. I can't.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Antoine Fuqua?
Written by Dan Fogelman and starring an ensemble cast that we will get into.
Yeah.
The film follows a series of interconnected love stories centered around Cal Weaver, played by Carell, a recently separated man who learns how to be more romantic and charm women. This, to me, is one of my favorite rom-coms that I've watched in my lifetime.
Yes.
It's one of those that I think there are several things that I do really like about it that we'll get into on this episode. But just off the top of my head, I think I would classify it as one of those films that you can just kind of stop what you're doing whenever it's on TV or you see it or something like that, a clip. You stay, you catch 5 minutes or so. There's going to be some sort of either witty banter between the characters, or there's an oddly heartfelt emotional scene, and it's one of those films that just kind of has that sort of staying power for me. All these years later, you can sit and watch a little bit at a time, and it's just as enjoyable today as it was then.
I do almost exactly that. I have watched it a few times all the way through, but for the most part, I just kind of either pick up wherever it like may be when I used to have cable, and now it's one like I could put on, especially this time of year, and just I consider it a classic. It's a modern classic.
Yeah.
It's what does it not have? I mean, It's got charisma, it's got charm, it's got sex appeal, it's got style, it's got laughs. That cast, if you look, like, it was a good cast.
Yeah.
But since then, I almost would say it's really become even like almost an elite ensemble, just because everybody has done great things since then. Some would say, but even before, but like what I think about is probably not so much like Steve Carell and Julianne Moore, which, even though, you know, Julianne Moore, I don't think she wasn't an Oscar winner yet for Still Alice. I don't know. But I mean, you're talking like Emma Stone, to me, is the one that really pops. Like, since then, her and Gosling would go on to do La La Land.
Yeah.
First they did Gangster Squad, but no one talks about that. And she's a 2-time Oscar winner now.
It's kind of wild. Maybe we can lead with that. Let's just dive right into this cast, because I don't think it's not one of those things where they just got a bunch of names and they had a good performance and we were all entertained. But this is one of those, I would say it's a pretty rare occurrence where you get multiple people in roles that are just absolutely perfect for the role and what they bring to what that character needs to present to the audience.
Yes.
You can't picture anybody else delivering it. And Steve Carell is a certain sort of downtrodden and a certain sort of vulnerable that I don't know would work with anybody else. And I think Ryan Gosling is that hotshot, charismatic ladies man. The delivery and his look and everything, the total package is just exactly what that role needs. Emma Stone, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just say you can't get more of a perfect casting than Ryan Gosling playing this smooth operator.
Yeah.
Where it is no stretch of the imagination that man can't walk into a bar and pick up basically any woman he wants.
Yeah.
But what I like is I love how Steve Carell can be the Steve Carell I think we kind of associated him with, especially by 2011.
Sure.
But also, when he has that makeover, you believe it. Like, it doesn't look weird on him that he has kind of, you know what I mean? Like, that's a certain kind of actor. Like, it's not just the Steve Carell 40-year-old virgin anymore, you know?
It's not just goofy loser guy.
Right. And so, but yeah, I mean, you can't have scenes where, like, Emma Stone, where, like, she asked Gosling to take off his shirt. Like, I mean, I'm not saying there's other people that couldn't play that part, but nobody could play it better, I don't think. And be in that moment, probably one of the, sexiest men alive.
Yeah,
I'll say it.
Absolutely. And to balance that, I think Emma Stone plays Hannah with a certain sort of innocence that, like, is unique to her. And her performance in this is just, I don't know, man. Like, it's so good. It's hard for me to imagine anybody else in that role and anybody else in Gosling's role that gives their relationship a sort of gravity that I think the film, it just makes it resonate more with people.
And it's not, and at the same time, because of this kind of, I think especially the way celebrity can be, Emma Stone's character also kind of has to be, I guess, kind of that anchor, because Gosling's character seems like he's untouchable.
Mm-hmm.
And that, why would Emma Stone's character have any right being with this guy? But that never crosses my mind on how she got him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but there is this innocence and there's this honesty about her that he's not used to. And I don't think that he's something he's even really encountered or maybe cared about.
Yeah.
He's obviously honest because he gets Steve Carell, but not when he's playing the female game of what he's been doing and kind of, the not heartthrob, what do they call it?
The Playboy, ladies man.
Yeah, ladies man.
Yeah.
So, and I always thought that there's a nice balance in there where nothing ever really seems so far-fetched that you're like, this is stupid.
Yeah. And with Julianne Moore and her character, like that role with what she's going through, like you need somebody that can convey that deep sense of pain where, like, if you've ever been through a really bad breakup or you've ever felt that sort of, you've been through a divorce or anything like that, you know, like you're walking around all day on thin ice. You're walking on eggshells where that emotion, that heartbreak, that pain can break through at any moment if somebody just says the right word.
Yeah.
And I thought Julianne Moore, who is so incredibly talented,
she is.
Played the role of Emily Weaver with that sort of, I don't know if vulnerability is the right word, that sort of weakness where you can see she's really going through it. And I think the thing that ties all of the four main characters here together, and specifically the performances of the actors that portray them, is that they're all sort of transformative roles where over the course of the film, we see Steve Carell's Cal go from, like, you know, dad to playboy. And we see Jacob going from playboy to, he wants to be more like the dad that Steve Carell is.
Right.
And with Emily, we see like this sort of midlife crisis to coming back around to just like wanting to understand what's going on and wanting things to work. And even with Hannah, we see this like innocent girl that, you know, wants to prove that she can be a bad girl and, you know, she can just go bang somebody and have a one night stand.
Yeah.
But then ultimately they all just kind of end up back together. And I think it's not only a testament to the range of the four actors that we've discussed so far, but the writing of this story to get everybody back to a place where it's just love that brings them together. It was so well done. It's so well executed, so well written, so well acted. It's a surprise for the genre to me.
Yeah. Well, because it's very sharp and smart in what it's doing with all these different characters. Because keep in mind, you still have the Steve Carell's son, who's kind of going through
a really good character,
teenage angst, and then the girl that he likes, but then she, you know, takes a liking to the older man who is Steve Carell, and of course the pictures, and that gets him, you know, her parents involved. Who one of his parents is John Carroll Lynch, who is always
so great.
He's so. If anybody saw Sorry Baby last year, he's only in it for like 5 minutes, but I would say it's one of probably the most effective scenes in the whole thing. But I think as you kind of like focus on like our four main characters, and then kind of like how it kind of sprouts in these different ways where, you know, which also shout out to Josh Groban, because he's actually,
it's a jump scare.
But he's hilarious at that, especially that dinner. But it's the importance of connection. And there's different kinds of connection that's happening, but none of them are quite pure or broken.
Yeah.
And so,
well, I mean, you didn't even mention like Kevin Bacon's character.
Well,
Marissa
first of all, if
Tomei's
you're going to
character.
cheat on somebody, you better make sure it's someone like Kevin Bacon at least.
Yeah. Well,
I could understand.
Touche.
But, you know, to Julianne Moore's performance, that character could have been easy to hate because Steve Carell didn't do anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, she's able to portray this kind of pain that I think when you are in a loving marriage and a lasting marriage, but then there is this thing of like, is the love gone? Have you taken each other for granted? I mean, you know, you could feel it in 5 years, you could feel it in 30 years.
Yeah.
But there's this understanding, I think, and I think it does kind of go back to the writing where there's something you can see yourself in all these characters.
Yeah.
Shades at least of them. Even if you kind of are like Steve Carell, you want to be like Ryan Gosling, but then as you watch it, it's like that's not what you think that life is. And Gosling, who is perfect to demonstrate that, shows you that it's you know, like when they stay up all night talking. That's a great sequence
Such a good
of
scene.
I mean, it's so
and through him you kind of learn like, oh, well, Cal Weaver probably has it all figured out to begin with before the divorce, like with just the normal family life.
Right.
You kind of learn throughout the course of the movie, like that's kind of what Jacob really wants. And he's doing all this to fill a hole that he's never going to fill with the activity that he's engaging in.
And I think that on the flip side of something that Jacob clearly wouldn't understand because he's never been there, but, you know, Steve Carell kind of had to be shaken a little bit.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, you know what? There's things we should have done. And obviously, Julianne Moore, just from the cheating aspect, obviously there's things that she regrets, but it does kind of reflect on like, well, you know, have we been giving it enough TLC?
Yeah.
Like, why is that? And, you know, when you're more grown up, and especially when you get married, that's true. That's true in all aspects of a relationship.
Yeah.
And again, I think that's why it's just so cleverly written and done. But then, this is one of those movies, especially within this genre, where, man, that casting, I mean, what better? I mean, what more could you wish for? And now you look back, right? So it's been, what, almost 15 years? 15
years this July.
Yeah. And look at that talent. I mean, none of them have gone away, and but even then, also I did look. Julianne Moore, Still Alice was in 2014, and she won the Oscar after. But Emma Stone, I mean, they're all great, but I will tell you, Emma Stone, Ryan Gosling has had some big movies, and he has Project Hail Mary coming out next month. But Emma Stone has just really no rom-com, and La La Land, which was great, and Ryan Gosling was great in, and that's when she won her first one. I still think one of her greatest performances is in Poor Things.
I loved Poor Things.
I loved it. I wish she was. I liked her in it. I wish there was more to it, but she was with Ari Aster. She loves the director of Poor Things. I can never quite say his name, but she does stuff with him all the time.
Crazy Stupid Love was 2011. Then she's in The Help, Gangster Squad. She was in movie 43. I don't remember that. Well, that's she's in Birdman.
Yeah, she got nominated for that too.
Yeah, La La Land. The Favorite. I never saw that one.
That's with the same director.
We didn't even mention Cruella.
Hey, she's great in that. I like that one.
Eddington.
Yeah.
I didn't see Kinds of Kindness, but
it was
another Yorgos flick.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that's a run. You know, this is.
But you see where it kind of
elevating.
Changes after this. She doesn't really come back to this genre.
No, and good for her. Well, I mean, she does do some Croods movies.
Well, that's true.
They're not rom-coms, but they're kid movies.
Yeah. But yeah, how do you get those stars to align just right to do a movie like this? But I think it's because they saw there's no character that really kind of gets left on the side.
No, and like even the supporting actors like Kevin Bacon and Marissa Tomei, they nail those roles, and they help prop the story up too. And eventually, to borrow a term from the wrestling world, they're putting over our main eventers in a lot of these scenes. And it just, man, I didn't realize it until this most recent rewatch. Like you're talking about what these actors would go on and do after this movie, but it really does kind of feel. I don't think I appreciated it at the time, but it feels like one of those lightning in a bottle performances where you got a bunch of talented people together and you got their A games.
Yeah. Well, and you probably can't afford them now. Not all of them.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
That too. So really, to me, the cast, the performances, and the writing are really what make this such a memorable film that really touches on a subject matter that is done, I mean, ad nauseum in the movies.
Oh, yeah.
But does it in a pretty unique way with a smart story.
It's sophisticated in ways that I don't really think the genre, well, I know the genre's not really known for.
Well, let's talk about it. Yeah, again, I don't know why you're listening to this podcast if you haven't seen this movie, but I'll give you a warning as well. Spoilers coming. I don't think you can talk about this movie without talking about the twist, because it is one of the sharpest, smartest things.
But it never even dawned on me. And I think, and I will say, the name of what they call Emma Stone and what you know the character as, I think is a very direct, like, well, how would I ever think about that?
And they do a great job in writing Hannah Weaver to, it appears as though the purpose she serves to the story is to be the force that kind of grounds Gosling's Jacob.
Right.
And so you're watching this just thinking that's why she's in this movie.
Right. Well, it's like they're going tit for tat.
They leave that nugget out.
Right.
Like just that one little piece of information that she's actually Cal and Emily's daughter.
But it changes the whole damn thing.
When he walks through that door at that party and their eyes meet, that is the first thing I think about when I think about this movie.
I think one, it is hilarious, but two, it is in a delightful way. It's quite shocking.
It is
because you're like,
it feels like a horror twist. Where the hell
did that come?
Or something.
Why are they like? You're caught off guard because you're like, well, what are they doing here?
I mean, I know this is pressure off the top of our heads here, but I can't think of another film from this genre that has like a twist like that.
Not only can I not think of one, and one that like you actually don't see coming, because there's a lot where you're way ahead of where the story's going to take you. But you know what? And even if it wasn't, it would still be a great movie. But the fact that they brought all that together, and then you realize Hannah was that piece.
Yeah.
Of why has Steve Carell been doing this? Who's been helping him? Who's been changing Gosling? And then come to find out that's their, and they mention their daughter, but it's because of the nickname. Like, it's not like they don't talk it that they have another kid.
Yeah.
But you're not like but then, like, rewatching it, I guess there are parts where you're like, well, I guess that could have maybe kind of told you a little bit.
Yeah.
But not really. I mean, because, like I said, even if they were like, well, H, or, if something even sounded like Hannah, you'd be like, wait a minute. But it just never crosses your mind. And you do think you're kind of seeing different, like, parts. Like, Ryan Gosling, Steve Carell are the connection. Mm-hmm. And then look at how their lives are different and look how they're changing, all while not knowing, like, oh my God, it's in the family. Like, okay.
Yeah. That whole
it's crazy,
scene,
but I love it.
And then John Carroll Lynch's Bernie shows up.
Yes.
Kevin Bacon
where they fight
shows up, and it's so over the top. But I did catch myself thinking this time. I wanted to ask you this because it didn't really dawn on me until my most recent rewatch that I lose track of virtually everything that comes after that scene, and I think the ending is the one thing to me that keeps this from being like my favorite rom-com of all time, like a 5-star movie.
Where he's in the gym.
Yeah, for one, like some official with the school should have gone up there and been like, "Get off the fucking stage, buddy. This is fucking crazy."
Yeah,
but it does go. Man, it goes to great lengths to really wrap up all the loose ends, nice and neat. It's Jacob gets Cal's blessing. Cal and Emily are talking again. The son and the babysitter have their moment, and it is.
Well, she gives them the pictures, which I think is that was.
So I'm
funny.
just curious how you feel about that, because for me, it kind of dawned on me like, oh yeah, like I have seen this movie a million times.
But you forget.
I could not have told you. I could not have told you before my most recent rewatch how it actually ended. All I could tell you was the twist and that scene in the backyard where things boil over. And that's where, to me, I'm like, man, I love this movie, but I don't know if they really they landed the plane. Yeah. But it's almost a little too nice and neat for me.
I'll be honest, I wasn't really too bothered by it.
No.
And I think part of it is I don't think it's enough for me to, be like, well, dang, I wish. But,
we almost had it.
Yeah, like I don't think and I don't think you're saying this either, but I don't think they screwed it up.
No.
But I guess because within the genre, I kind of figured, well, we're gonna bring it back to something. But this is what I like. I agree. In real life, he would have probably never even made it to the stage, or someone like more than a couple of parents would have been like,
hey, buddy.
Hey.
Yeah, can you sit down, please?
It's Steve Carell's sincerity and kind of his confession that it wins me over. So
yeah.
I was fine with it.
So I think the question then, the bigger picture question that feeling from me would pose is a question of expectations and the function of the genre.
Yeah.
Because it looks nice and neat, and maybe that takes away from, some really sad, profound ending that just sticks with you and you can't shake it.
You want A24 to do this?
Yeah. So, you have to kind of look at it through that lens. And that's where I think, I don't really have a problem with it, because I don't think it's the job of the rom-com to have you questioning, the existence of humans,
right.
the purpose of life,
right.
so to speak. It is sort of to make you feel good, to be an enjoyable flick. And that makes it a little hard for me to be hard on this film.
Yeah, and I think that because, you are still talking about a mainstream rom-com that came out in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
So, but there is still a fairy tale essence to it all.
Yeah.
And while this is really kind of blows expectations out as far as what you could have especially in the confines of the genre, but you still kind of need that.
Yeah.
I think because of the approach and the overall execution of it all, I guess I never really saw it ending in it. Not exactly, but I figured we're going to find a way. But most of the movie, what I really give it credit for, and I think that's why I don't mind for them coming back at the end, is that most of the movie, especially with how we start it with the Weavers breaking up, is that they're slowly, they still have these interactions, and they're not, it's not real bitter or angry. And, and to me, that's real life, where you don't just stop loving that person. That's impossible.
Yeah.
And so I felt like at the end, because they have had these interactions and and especially after the whole beatdown, you're like, well, yeah, I guess to me, some shit puts things in perspective. So if you're going to stand up in front of everybody, that's in the rom-com world, that's how you do it, I think.
I think they could have easily taken it a step too far had Cal and Emily kissed at the end. But instead, the thing that I liked about the ending is that you see them talking, they're both smiling, and you get the perspective of the son who sees it happening.
Yeah.
And this whole message of, your one fight for your one true love and that sort of thing that we hear throughout the film.
And they think he gave up.
That his faith in that belief has been broken over the course of the film. But that final scene where he sees it between his mom and dad coming back, it kind of lights that fire within him again. And I think that is kind of a bit of a profound moment if you stop and think about it, where it is okay.
Well, and what does that mean for a teenager to see that? And especially to come from, there was devastation that, mom cheated on dad and everything else. So I really thought that was a very sweet moment. And they didn't have to kiss, but you can see that there is, that the love never actually went away.
Yeah. Critics have been, hard on the ending of this film. There was also a general theme I picked up on reading through some of the reviews that critics said it wasn't crazy or stupid enough. And
I don't think it means the people should be crazy or stupid.
I don't know.
Did they misread the title?
Well, they're like, well, it's called Crazy, and it's called Crazy Stupid Love, and it never really gets to a crazy or stupid point.
First of all, it is a little crazy when they finally meet. In there.
I'm like,
but it sounds like you want it to be crazy, stupid people in love.
Yeah, I'm like midlife crises and affairs and.
I'd say a lot of stuff was crazy and kind of stupid.
Yeah, like the babysitter has a crush on the dad, and the son has a crush on the babysitter,
and the father finds the photo, so now he's gonna go beat him up.
I mean, it feels like it gets pretty crazy to me. So I don't know. People some critics kind of panned it as like, oh, it's just a rom-com, and I'm like, that goes back to my point about like, what were you expecting this to be? I don't think the trailer
feels
describes
like you were
it.
expecting something worse than what.
Yeah, or like if you look back at the time, it's 2011. Like, were you expecting a raunchy Steve Carell comedy out of this? Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. And Emma Stone at the time, like she had been in some romantic comedies that were kind of raunchy.
Easy A was probably the big one.
Yeah. So like, were your expectations just off? I don't know.
I don't think. I feel like the trailer was not like.
Yeah, I didn't.
That's what it was like. I
should have gone back and watched the trailer. That's a good point. But
I'm pretty sure it wasn't. Sure it's a mainstream rom-com trailer. You can pretty people.
You can make a pretty good argument that the ending is a hindrance to the film, and I can see your perspective on that. You lose me when you say it wasn't crazy or stupid enough.
Right. As if like they didn't understand.
I think it hurts the movie if they do anything other than what they did with the characters. Like it's the right amount of crazy and stupid to me.
Yeah. So. I feel like they want like the Jerk or something. Like to me, I don't think you would get that cast if you went that route.
Yeah.
I think they would all say, "Oh, well, I've seen this before. Like, what's the point?"
From a technical aspect, I thought there were some really good shots in this. I thought there was really good use of color. There's some vibrant colors.
Especially in those bars.
Yeah, when they need to kind of put across a certain vibe. I thought it was really effective. The scene with the Dirty Dancing bit.
That's what comes to my mind instantly.
That is fantastic work. Like, is this, the most beautiful film of all time? No, probably not. But I think it's something that when we talk about this movie, I think there are technical aspects of it that deserve a little more love than it gets because we're so busy talking about the cast and the story.
Well, and there's so much appeal just in general. Like, I mean, you have these actors and, there's been a lot of thought behind. I mean, part of the movie is about the style of these individuals. So the fact that like, you're going to make some things, you're going to make their environment look attractive because you can't have Steve Carell going through all this and then just like, walk into a Denny's and be like, oh, well, shit, never mind.
Yeah. Did you have, before we wrap things up here, did you have any favorite like quotes or scenes or anything particular?
I mean, I'm not sure about quotes, even though there is one about where they kind of first meet and Steve Carell won't shut up about Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
And I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
And he says something when they're sitting about it's about, I wish I could remember, but they're sitting at the bar. He's like, "Yeah, I heard you go over there." He's like, "Yeah, you talked about," and he says his name and stuff. And then he's like, "Well, that was hurtful." Like Ryan Gosling is brutally honest with him about something.
Are you thinking of the scene where Ryan Gosling says something about she was into you when he's trying on the clothes, and he says to her,
that one.
He says, "You see what you did there, Cal? You had her. She wanted to sleep with you, and then you opened your mouth." And he goes, "That's the meanest thing anything's ever said
that
to
one,
me."
But there's one, I think, on their first meeting where he calls him over and he sits down and he's like, everyone in the bar could hear you talk about that. Like, and what's Kevin Bacon's name?
David Lindhagen.
Yes. But I like when John Carroll Lynch comes by and acts like they're fine, but then basically he says his wife told him he can't talk to him anymore, and he leaves.
Are you breaking up with me?
Yeah. And so I like, sometimes it's funny, and I think especially at the age I'm at, is just watching middle-aged men still like be the children that we are.
Yeah.
I like that one. I liked Josh Groban, that dinner scene where she like,
so good.
it's so ridiculous, but I love that scene. Yeah. I think about that one almost as much as probably maybe the Dirty Dancing and the twist.
Yeah. I will say this. I think I saw this movie in 2011, and I don't think I've had a straw in my cocktail since.
That was the comment where it looks like something on a yes.
You're sucking on a tiny schmoz.
That's it.
I think
that's what I was thinking of. I'm like, he says something about the drink, because I remember Steve Carell's character with that pink drink and having that straw in his mouth. That's what it was. Yes.
So I think I think to wrap this one up, I'm sorry. Can I do one more scene? And this, of course.
I only remember it because I just thought, man, that would probably actually in real life be messy. But Gosling's talking to Steve Carell, and he's like decked to the nines, right? Mm-hmm. But he's eating this greasy piece of pizza at the mall, and I'm like, that has to be like,
couldn't do it.
Something was going to fall in that suit.
Yeah, couldn't do it. But
you know who makes it look so freaking cool?
Who?
Ryan Gosling.
Yes. I think this is a good story, a stellar cast that executes upon its vision perfectly. Mm-hmm. I think thematically, this movie, I think what makes it such a good romantic film, especially for Valentine's Day, date night in, movie night, that sort of thing, is just how many different varieties of love this film covers. It is like young love. You're a teenager, you're growing up, and you're romanticizing relationship, and you're dealing with the rejection of not getting that. Yeah. It's old love. It is, what you do down the road, years, decades down the road when things get tough. How do you navigate those waters? It's lost love. It's, what you had and now it's gone. Mm-hmm. It is transformative love, the type that makes you feel like you're a completely different person and you want to stop behaving the way you were because you care for this person so much. And I thought it was such a good celebration of all those different types of love that...
Well, it's so many phases of life that you're watching.
Yeah.
But the one connector, and like you said, is that it's that love and connection that it means something different to the son than it does to Steve Carell, than it does to Ryan Gosling, and that it does to Julian. I mean, it's different as you evolve and as you age.
And in this story, ultimately, all roads lead back to the same basic emotion that we all crave and need. And I thought that was something that made this particularly unique for the genre, because not every romantic comedy that comes out is able to hit on so many of those things and still be like a good movie.
Yeah.
And it's just I'm really impressed, and it feels like every time I rewatch this I come away thinking, man, I can't believe how good that is for the type of movie it is.
It's on my Mount Rushmore of rom-coms. I really feel like that and When Harry Met Sally
Those
belong
are the two. Those are the two for me. Yeah.
I find I really like to watch Something's Gotta Give.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if as good as it gets is a straight up rom-com, so I won't include that. But another one that I tend to like, and that you could really kind of watch it for Valentine's Day. You could kind of watch it for Christmas. But there is something about the atmosphere, obviously the two actors in it stuff, but I love me some You've Got Mail.
Yeah.
The old bookstore, and then that old kind kind of like small owned books. Like, it's so charming to me, and like it's New York, and it's like Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks in their like absolute kind of prime, and of course, you know, people remember Sleepless in Seattle anyway, but yeah, I would put this up there. I will say, When Harry Met Sally, which if people don't know, we just saw that within like a year or two ago, right?
Yeah, and there's an episode on the movie in the movie
which is why
archives.
it's fantastic, and we want to talk. I am amazed of when that was made, and nobody has done it like it since. But Crazy Stupid Love to me is another iteration of that, where I know there's movies that have tried it before and after, but in whatever kind of way, whether it's out of the director's hands or the cast or whatever, they haven't been able to pull it off. But man, when they do, it works. And I think it's a modern rom-com classic. When someone asks about rom-com, or hey, what do you watch on that's if not one of the one that like I think like that's one of the greats.
Gotta happen. Yeah. Any parting thoughts before we get on out of here?
No, I'm just glad to see that, one, it never gets old.
No.
It will stand the test of time because of what we've talked about with its themes. And I'm just, what a crew. What a crew of people to come together and do it. And they are all the finest of actors.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me. But I will say, and I know we touched on it, let's not forget about that supporting cast, because I'm going to tell you, that is a great supporting cast.
It is.
From the babysitter to Marissa Tomei, John Carroll Lynch. It is they're all there, and they're very much game to do what was required to make this so enjoyable and entertaining.
Well, that's going to do it for us in another episode of the Movie Review Rewind podcast. Happy Valentine's Day. If you need a night in with the one you love, Crazy Stupid Love obviously comes highly recommended from us. If you want more of our work, be sure to subscribe to the Movie Review Rewind podcast via Nashville Movie Dispatch, wherever you take in your podcast, and subscribe to the Substack at NashvilleMovieDispatch.com, NashvilleMovieDispatch.substack.com. And for Brandon, I'm Stoney. Until next time, you stay classy, moviegoers.